Hi guys, my name is Marie and welcome to my Kawaii world. So I recently went to Tokyo Disney and Tokyo DisneySea with my family, and I thought that I would make this video to give you some tips and tricks on making the most of your vacation to Tokyo Disney and Tokyo DisneySea. And this will be especially relevant if you have young children, because going to the parks as an adult is totally different than going with small children. So I hope that you guys will find this helpful. I want to give a big thank you to my Patreons, Hello Dino, Christy, Bonnie, Aaron, Pinball Reviewer, and V. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. And if you guys want to see a vlog of our trip to Disney, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications bell so that you don't miss those videos. Tip number 1, before you go to Disney, make sure to check the crowd calendar to see what it's going to be like. Here's the Disney crowd calendar. You want to try to go on a day that's white, blue, green, or yellow. The lower the better. If you go on an orange, red, dark red, or black day, it's going to be super crowded. On the really crowded days, they may limit ticket sales to only those people who are staying in official Disney hotels. This website is only available in Japanese, but I'm viewing it on Google Chrome and it automatically translates everything for me, so I can pretty much read it all. You can toggle here between Disneyland and DisneySea. Parks will have different crowds on different dates. And there's other websites available like this one. The calendars slightly differ, but I think I like this Japanese one the best. I will leave a link to this website in the description box below. Number 2, try to buy your tickets in advance. In Japan, you can sometimes get discounted tickets at a convenience store like 7-Eleven or Family Mart or Lawson's, but they don't always have these tickets. But if you happen to be in Japan doing other stuff before your Disney trip, it doesn't hurt to check. You can also buy them from Klook or Klook sometimes, and you can buy them at any of the Disney stores in Japan. You can also get tickets at Maihama Station, which is right on the Disney monorail, and it's the station that connects the regular subway to the Disney monorail. Also, if you're staying at a Disney hotel, then you can purchase the tickets there. And finally, you can purchase your tickets online, but I wasn't able to do this. I think you have to have a MasterCard. I tried every single one of my credit cards and my husband's, and none of them worked. I kept getting a message saying that my card was not 3D secure, so it wouldn't process the transaction. And I looked it up online, and I think you have to have a MasterCard. Luckily, I was able to purchase the tickets at our hotel because we stayed at the Sheraton, which is on Tokyo Disney Resort, and the ticket office opened at 6 a.m., so I got up early to get our tickets before we went to the park. But the day that I was leaving Disney, I saw a sign saying that Disney tickets were no longer available for purchase that day, and it was still in the morning, so I think it would kind of suck if you planned on going there and you got there at like 10 and then the tickets were all sold out. So make sure to buy your tickets in advance. Number 3 is not necessarily a tip, but if you're debating whether or not you should take your kids under 3, then you might want to know that kids 3 and under are free. So in the US, it's 2 and under. So if you're in Japan, you might want to take advantage of this extra year, especially if you're here during a low crowd day. Number 4, the night before you go, try to stay at one of the hotels on Tokyo Disney Resort. I have a video where I talk more about the official Disney hotels, and I will link it above. But during this last trip, we stayed at the Sheraton Tokyo Bay, and the benefit of staying at one of the Disney hotels is number 1, you'll be close to the parks. You can hop on the monorail and you can get to the park easily. And if you were staying at the Miracosta Hotel, you can actually access Tokyo DisneySea straight from your hotel. And the goal is to get to the parks as early as you can so that you can fully take advantage of your day. And staying at one of the official Disney hotels makes it a lot easier because you're just closer. Also, the official hotels have their own mini Disney souvenir shop inside, so you can do last-minute souvenir shopping after you leave the park or the night before. You are also guaranteed access to the parks even if ticket sales have been closed to the public. You can also buy your tickets right inside the hotel. And also, if you are staying at the Ambassador Hotel, then you can have breakfast at Chef Mickey's and meet Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy. And breakfast is reserved only for hotel guests. I think you still have to pay separately for the meal. But if you're not staying at the Ambassador Hotel, then you cannot have breakfast there. You can only eat lunch or dinner at Chef. Tip number 5 is to bring your big stroller. I'm talking about that big clunky stroller that's only appropriate for use in the US. In Japan, it has no use because you can't fit through any of the doors, but at Tokyo Disney, it is so appropriate. This is the kind of stroller that can accommodate 2 kids, so my stroller of choice is the Upper Baby Cruise. It has a kickboard and a big basket underneath, and this is probably the best baby purchase that I've ever made because I'm still using this 6 years later. I'll link the stroller down below if you guys want to check it out. Sienna is getting a little too big to ride on this kickboard, but I still brought my stroller to Disney anyway because there's a lot of walking that you have to do here, and I knew that she would get tired, and I think that having this stroller definitely helped. Also, the big basket came in so handy to hold all of our junk. There's plenty of space for stroller parking out in front of the rides, and you'll actually see a stroller parking area with a ton of strollers. And unlike in the US, people will not steal your stroller or the stuff in your basket. But just to be on the safe side, I still carry all my valuables with me. You can rent a stroller here if you need to, by the way, for about 10 bucks. Number 6 is to plan your trip in advance. You guys might think I'm a little crazy, but I actually used an Excel spreadsheet to plan my trip, and I think that this was really great. We weren't standing around saying, what should we do next? Does the ride have a height requirement? I had a plan, and I think that this helped us maximize our time there. So I went on the Tokyo Disney website, I took inventory of all the rides, and then next to each ride I had a column where I listed the height requirements, whether or not there was a fast pass available, and this is what I used to help decide which rides we should prioritize. At DisneySea, the rides tend to have a higher height requirement than at Disneyland, so you might want to consider that if you're bringing small children. You also want to take note of which rides will be closed that day. So once you get to Disney and you go to one of the rides that has a height requirement, one of the Disney cast members will measure your kid, and they will give him or her a bracelet that indicates which rides he or she can go on, so you don't have to re-measure your kid every single time. Isn't that efficient? And then when you go on another ride, you can just show your bracelet to the cast member. Number 7, plan out your fast pass strategy. If you're not familiar with fast pass, you can use this to bypass a 1 to 2 hour line and only have to wait 10 or 15 minutes, and sometimes you can just go straight to the front, and this is available for the more popular rides. So you want to take note of which rides you can get a fast pass for, and that's the first thing that you should do when you go to the park. At DisneySea, I will go straight to pick up a fast pass for Toy Story Mania, but for most people, I think they'll probably go towards the new Soaring ride. Personally, I wasn't too interested in it because my younger daughter is too short to go on the ride, but that's the newest ride at DisneySea at the moment. At Disneyland, I go straight for Pooh's Honey Hunt because that's unique to Disney Tokyo, and both of my kids to go on it. And number 2, I'll go for Monsters Inc. So the way it works is you scan your park ticket to get a fast pass. You have to do it for each family member, and they'll give you a card, which is a fast pass reminder. You have to go back to the ride at the designated time and scan your park ticket, not your fast pass ticket. If you are 5 minutes early or 5 minutes late, then you missed your window and you can't use the fast pass anymore. And a lot of times you'll have to rescan your park ticket again right before you get on the ride. The fast pass reminder will indicate when you can pick up your next fast pass, which is typically 2 hours later. And chances are you'll be able to get at least 2 fast passes that day. I would check to see which are the most popular rides and go for those fast passes first, but that's qualified by which rides you and your family actually want to go on. Number 8, look at the website in advance and figure out which popcorn buckets they are offering and decide which one you want, and then figure out where to get it. This website is only available in Japanese, but you can use Google Translate to figure out what it says. You would expect all the popcorn buckets to be available everywhere, but no. It seems like every cart carries a different bucket, and some of the buckets are only available at Disneyland, and others are only available at DisneySea. Number 9, if you're into eating cute food, then look at the food that's available online on the Tokyo Disney website. There's a lot of seasonal stuff that's only available during a certain time frame, and if you want to make sure to hit up those spots, then add them to your spreadsheet. Make a note of the food that you want to eat and where it's located, and then once you have all this in your spreadsheet, you can sort it by location, and then you have a rough guide to what you want to do in each area of the park, so you don't have to waste time going back and forth because you missed something. Number 10, try to download an app that allows you to see the wait times. I think there's an official Tokyo Disney app that's available in the Japanese App Store, and you'll have to reconfigure your settings in order to get the app. But the thing is, it's only available in Japanese at the moment, so if you cannot read Japanese, then this might not be that useful to you. There's a Tokyo Disney Resort app that I use, but I was really not happy with this app because I found the wait times to be really inaccurate the day that I went. However, I did use it a few years ago and it seemed pretty accurate, so I think it's kind of hit or miss. In any event, if it happens to be working at the time that you go, it could be really useful. Number 11, if you have one family member who is too short to go on the ride, you can ask the cast members before you get in line if you can do a rider swap. And that's where one of the parents will wait with the child who cannot go on the ride, and the rest of the family members can go on the ride. And then once everyone gets back, the parent who is waiting gets to go on the ride without having to get in line all over again. Also, some of the rides have a single rider line, so if you are okay with riding by yourself, then you can use this line to move a little faster than the regular line. If you want to make sure that you can take a picture with Mickey or Minnie, I would consider doing character dining at Chef Mickey's. In Japan, the characters are extremely popular, so sometimes the wait time to meet and take a photo with characters is longer than the lines for the actual rides. Some of the less popular characters may be out and about, and it's easy to say hi to them and take a photo, but you can't really count on meeting a particular character. Chef Mickey's is a buffet, and while you eat, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy will come around and greet you, and they will take pictures with you. And I think this is a great way to meet the characters, but the buffet is kind of expensive. So for the 4 of us on a weekend, I think it was about $160. If your kids really want to meet the princesses, it's kind of hard to find them in the park, and we didn't see any while we were there, so I would suggest watching a parade because they will normally all come out on a float. There used to be character dining at some of the restaurants inside the parks, but I don't think they do that anymore. Should you go to Tokyo Disneyland or Tokyo DisneySea? I would say both, but if you're pressed for time, then you should know that Disneyland is more kid-friendly, but DisneySea is really unique to Tokyo. So for me, it's a no-brainer. If I had to choose, I would pick DisneySea. But if you have young children, Disneyland has a lot more traditional rides that kids will recognize from Disney movies like Dumbo and Peter Pan, and there's also Cinderella's Castle. They also have It's a Small World and Toontown, which are very child-friendly, and most of the rides at Disneyland have a slightly lower height requirement. So if you have a 4-year-old, chances are he or she will be able to go on most of the rides. Valentina just met the 90 centimeter height requirement, so she was able to go on a lot of rides. Don't miss Pooh's Honey Hunt. I think Valentina was about 18 months old when she first went on this ride. So as long as your child can sit up on their own, they can go on the ride. You don't want to take your kids on Snow White if they don't like scary things. My kids found this ride absolutely terrifying. My kids also liked It's a Small World, Dumbo, Peter Pan, the Carousel, and Gadgets Go Coaster in Toontown. At DisneySea, there's the Mermaid Lagoon, which is really cool. It's mostly indoors, and there are a ton of kids rides there, and my kids really loved this place. There's also a little playground, and you can go check out Ariel's Grotto if you really like The Little Mermaid. There's also the Arabian Coast, which is an Aladdin-themed area, and there they have a carousel that is Aladdin-themed, and there's also Jasmine's Flying Carpets, which is basically like Dumbo, but on carpets, so my kids really like that one as well. There's a ride called Sinbad's Voyage, which is sort of like Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's mostly in Japanese, and my kids found that to be really scary. Also, don't miss Toy Story Mania. Be sure to get a fast pass for that first thing. And in Port Discovery, there's this thing called Aquatopia, which my kids also liked. They're basically these little boats that spin around in the water. What to bring? You should bring your big stroller. Bring a baby carrier if you have one. Don't forget a external battery pack to charge your phone, because it's hard to find spots to charge your phone at Disneyland. And get a wireless Wi-Fi device or a SIM card so that you can use internet, because there's no Wi-Fi in Disneyland. Bring a picnic mat or a blanket if you want to sit on the ground while you watch your parade. In Japan, people will start lining up for parades, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours in advance even, and they will use the picnic mat to reserve their spot. Also, to save money, you can bring food from outside the park into Disney or DisneySea. Lastly, how do you get to the park? You can take a train from anywhere in Tokyo. If you're coming from the airport, you can take a limousine bus directly from Narita Airport to Tokyo Disney Resort. It takes a little over an hour. I believe it's 20 bucks for adults and 10 for kids. And it stops at all of the official Disney hotels, so it's really convenient. But the problem is it stops running around 6 p.m. So if you come after that, you will probably have to take a bus instead to Shin Urayasu Station, and then from there take a taxi to your hotel, or you can take the train and then the monorail. So if you can, I would try to book your flight to arrive before 6 p.m. so you could take advantage of that bus. And you want to also allow time to go through customs and pick up your luggage. Make sure to check out these playlists if you want to see more Disney videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell because I love Disney and Sanrio and really cute stuff. So if you guys like that too, then you'll probably like a lot of my other videos. I'll talk to you next time. Bye!
Bye!